Here are some other great videos from Cabin Fever Entertainment.
It's the most popular movie series of all time.
The greatest show in town. I mean the greatest show in the whole world. Happy birthday, Mr. Hood.
Cabin Fever Entertainment is proud to present The Little Rascals on home video.
To you. Give me a high sign.
These are the original Little Rascals. Now they're better than ever. For years, the Little Rascals have been censored. Some of their movies haven't been seen for decades, and previous video collections contained low-contrast, scratched prints, ruined from years of neglect. Not Cabin Fever. These are all the original classics, uncut, remastered from the Library of Congress's original 35mm prints, and restored to mint condition through a process costing nearly $500,000.
All right, where are you guys? There's nobody down here except us dummies.
It's all your favorite moments.
Say, let's start a club right now. The He-Man Woman. Don't call me Norman. Call me Chubsy Ubsy. Hi, Krabby.
And all your favorite Rascals, even ones you haven't seen for years. Each volume is introduced by Entertainment Tonight's Leonard Maltin, co-author of the book The Little Rascals, The Life and Times of Our Gang.
My Juliet. My Romeo.
The original Little Rascals, only from Cabin Fever Entertainment.
One of the prime ingredients of the Little Rascals' success is the fact that its comedy was universal. It seemed as if everyone in the audience could relate to the things that happened to these kids on screen. Despite all the changes in our society over the years, it's remarkable how many of the subjects tackled in the Little Rascals are still recognizable and relevant. For instance, there are few places more universal in our lives than the schoolroom. Well, that's what inspired Hal Roach's comedy staff to think about a school episode for the Rascals. And here, they struck gold. Who of us hasn't had some memorable experience with a teacher or two in our lives? Anyone who's ever had a crush on a teacher would be sure to recognize what happens to Jackie Cooper in Teacher's Pet. But I don't think many of us ever had a school marm as lovely as Miss Crabtree. The ill-named Miss Crabtree was played by a young silent film actress named June Marlowe, whom the Rascals' director, Bob McGowan, chanced to meet one day in a Los Angeles department store. He took her to producer Hal Roach, who suggested she wear a blonde wig to match Jackie Cooper's light-colored hair, and the transformation was miraculous. This was the ideal and idealized school teacher they had in mind. Teacher's Pet, made in 1930, was so good it led to several follow-ups, or sequels if you like. Miss Crabtree figures again in School's Out, and in the very funny Love Business, in which she becomes a boarder in Weezer and Mary Ann's house. These films are also a particular showcase for Jackie Cooper, one of the most gifted kids ever to emerge from the Little Rascals. He was so good, in fact, that as soon as other movie makers saw him in films like Teacher's Pet, they wanted him. Within a year, he was a major star of feature films like Skippy and The Champ. Here's a trivia note for you movie buffs. When Chubby makes love to a poster cutout in front of his neighborhood theater in Love Business, it's a picture of Greta Garbo he's wooing with his flowery words. She was a top MGM studio star, and so were the Little Rascals, because MGM distributed all of Hal Roach's movies at that time. Our last episode also takes place in school, but most of the action occurs at night, when everyone, including the Rascals' new school teacher, Miss Jones, has gone home. It's Spooky Hooky from 1936, with a different set of kids than you'll see in the earlier films, but the same feelings about school and about their teacher. To find out more about the amazing history of the Little Rascals and the remarkable kids who starred in this series, turn to The Little Rascals, The Life and Times of Our Gang by Leonard Maltin and Richard W. Bann. Its pages are crammed with facts, photos, and behind-the-scenes information on all 221 Our Gang comedies, with biographies of every Little Rascal and the story of what happened to them in later life. Ask for The Little Rascals, The Life and Times of Our Gang at your local bookstore, or have them order it for you. It's published by Crown.